Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we're tackling a massive psychological barrier that, let's be honest, pretty much all of us have faced at some point. I'm talking about the illusion of the perfect moment. You know the feeling, right? We spend so much of our lives just waiting for conditions to magically align perfectly before we actually do anything. Well, today we're going to completely deconstruct how our brains literally trick us into stalling out, and more importantly, how to totally rewire our approach to taking action. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the right time myth. So I want you to think about that universal pain point we all share, feeling completely stuck. Just ask yourself, are you waiting to feel ready or motivated before you finally end that toxic situation? Or maybe before you start that massive project? It's so incredibly common. We just stall. We tell ourselves, oh, I'll do it when I feel a bit stronger, or I'll do it when the time is right. And we end up putting our entire lives on hold for an emotional state that, honestly, might never actually arrive. Well, the sign is never coming. Just let that firm truth shatter the illusion for a second. We're all waiting for this sudden, magical morning where we wake up and everything just feels easy and perfectly aligned. But here is the stark reality. If you are waiting for some big neon sign from the universe to tell you you're finally ready to do the hard thing, you are literally going to be waiting forever. And that brings us to Section 2, redefining the ready feeling. This is a complete paradigm shift. And this right here brilliantly illustrates exactly where we go wrong. You see, we operate on this massive myth. We falsely believe that motivation has to happen first, and then that motivation leads to action. But the reality? It flips this entirely on its head. Action actually leads to the feeling of being ready. You don't get the motivation to start, you start to get the motivation. The action itself is the engine. That's what actually generates the feeling you've been passively waiting around for. So the crucial point is captured perfectly in this exact quote from our source material. Ready is a feeling that rarely arrives before the action. It's a reward that usually comes after you begin. Wow. Just let the profound nature of that realization really sink in. Ready is not a prerequisite. Ready is a reward. It's literally the prize you get for having the courage to take that very first step when you felt completely unequipped. By taking action, you generate momentum, and it's that momentum that creates the emotional state of readiness. Moving right along to Section 3, building an unbreakable mindset. Now, this isn't just some neat little productivity hack. It's about fundamentally restructuring how you view your own capabilities whenever you face adversity. And the absolute foundation of that unbreakable mindset is something called self-efficacy. So what is that? Well, it's the deep-seated belief in your own ability to succeed in specific situations. But here's the real secret. You cannot think your way into it. You definitely can't wait your way into it. It is exclusively forged by doing. Every single time you take action without feeling ready, you are giving your brain undeniable, hard proof that you are capable. You're building a track record with yourself, and that track record is exactly what creates an unbreakable mindset. Which leads us to Section 4, the Naruto approach. To bring this abstract psychological concept into reality, let's look at the super popular anime character Naruto. His story perfectly embodies these exact mechanics. Let's move to this and see how it builds. Step 1 is simply action. He doesn't start off feeling powerful at all. He just acts. And that immediately leads to Step 2, countless failures. He didn't wait around to be perfect. Through that continuous, gritty cycle of action and failure, we finally reach Step 3, quiet progress. Slowly, almost invisibly really, the skills are forged. It's only at the very end, in Step 4, that he reaches the point of feeling strong. You see? Readiness was the ultimate reward at the end of a long road of failures, absolutely not the starting line. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it completely strips away our highly romanticized view of success. We're so conditioned by social media highlight reels to believe that progress is this loud, explosive, instantly gratifying transformation, right? We think true strength looks flashy. But the actual day-to-day process of building self-efficacy, of taking action without an ounce of motivation, of failing and then just trying again, it is an unglamorous grind. It's quiet. It happens in the shadows, far away from the applause, in those tiny, everyday moments where you choose to act despite feeling entirely unready. So, we've deconstructed the myth of the right time. We've seen that motivation is the reward for action, not the prerequisite. And we've learned that true, unshakable progress is built quietly, through taking action and, frankly, failing. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What will you start today? The sign isn't coming. The perfect moment simply does not exist. The only thing standing between you and that toxic situation you desperately need to end, or that big project you've been putting off starting, is that very first unglamorous step. Cross the threshold, take the action, and let the feeling of readiness be your reward. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.